Kudoki, hello, good evening. Hello, peoples of the internet. Today, we have another episode of Talk Shit Show, your favorite podcast on the whole wide web. Today's guest is Pixel. He's a good
Hola.
friend of mine. Hello, Pixel, how are you doing?
Good.
Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit and just say, well, no, a little bit of a background?
Sure. Yeah, name's Pixels. I've been gaming since I was basically crawling. Enjoy all things computer. That's what I went to school for, actually, for IT.
Nice.
Did not like it at all. That was not my thing. So ended up being an electrician, and now I sell cars. Yeah.
I didn't know that you're an electrician. Okay.
Yep.
Didn't
Yep,
you consider,
so-
have you ever considered to, fix cars instead of selling them?
Yeah, I thought about it, but I'm not very good with actually fixing cars. I can YouTube stuff and fix it,
Right.
but I'm not one to get dirty and greasy, and
Okay.
I experienced that with being an electrician. Too much grime. You come home dirty, sweaty, and gross every day.
See.
No, I'd rather sit there in an office and sell someone a car.
Clean and
So-
tidy.
Exactly.
Nice one. That's what I
Um,
like. You also
So if
have
you're in
your.
the States and you're looking for a car,
Oh yeah, Pixel. Pixel gonna sell you the tank. How do you call them?
Well, maybe
Humvee.
not that. I could say a new EV Humvee. I could do that.
How much? How much does it cost?
Under 100K.
I can buy a house, bro.
You
I can buy a
couldn't,
house.
At least
Come on.
you cannot buy a house here for 100K. I'll tell you that. Unless
Really?
you're in some really boondock out in the middle of
Wow.
nowhere.
Wow.
You probably don't even have electricity at that point.
Jesus. Okay. Anyways, I have quite a few interesting topics. I believe that's
Good.
going to be very interesting. So the premise is we're gonna go through them one by one. We're not gonna tell you what it is before we start, and just do it casually. If it's something else of the topic comes from the side, we can cover it.
Just
There's
flows
no need to there's no need to rush through. If you stay on the same topic for till the end, it is what it is, man. We can keep the other topics for the next time. That's perfect. So yeah,
Yep.
maybe you want to start with yours.
Sure, absolutely.
Let's do the first one.
Um,
What's the most interesting to you from your topics? Give me one.
Yeah, so I really like mysteries,
Mysteries.
unsolved
Ooh,
mysteries.
Okay.
See, to me, solved ones much less interesting. Unsolved ones, when they end, you have
Right.
speculation. You can think about it. You can oh, I wonder what happened here. I had a book when I was a kid, and it's called Unsolved Mysteries of Ships and Planes.
Okay.
Really fun book.
It's like
it's
Bermuda
pretty easy.
Triangle.
Yeah, exactly. It's got lots of stories about that. But my favorite ones were always the ship ones. So
Okay,
I pulled
why
up
the
a
ships?
couple. Well, to me, you always got with airplanes, it was new enough. You always had radar data. You always had too much information.
Right.
With ships, you could go back far enough, and it would be well, no one has any idea or any clue, or the ship is completely in a different ocean that it should be when they find it. It's just different things like that, where it's that is, I don't know. I find them more
Yeah.
interesting for whatever reason. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know about
So-
you.
I like the mysteries when it's stories about things that doesn't exist, like Sasquatch and like Santa
Okay.
Claus and such. So I like those, where fucked up. Oh, there was some people went to the forest and they're gone now, and there's only their shoes left, and their shoes are all sticky, but nobody knows what the sticky goo is. Nobody can understand. So something like otherworldly, those
Right.
kind of things interest me.
Okay.
Aliens, bro. Oof. I like
Well, that
aliens.
actually kind of leads into another one of my topics, so we
Okay,
can go
okay.
right into that. What
I
would
mean,
you
let's do
do?
first one first. Whatever you said about the ships.
Yeah, okay. Um, well, I'm gonna read you like a brief summary,
Okay.
and then we can speculate about it.
Okay.
Okay. So this one's the mystery of the SS Orang Medan. Medan? Yeah, I think it's that. And they received a distress call. Here's what was said. They received two of them. Here's what the distress call was said. All officers, including captain, are dead, lying in the chart room and bridge. Possibly whole crew dead. Then the final message was, I die. Kind of mysterious, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, an American ship finds them. The entire crew is dead, and all the dead were frozen in terror. Faces twisted in fear, arms, outstretched. They're like just scared, but they're all dead.
Okay.
The ship's dog was dead. No injuries of struggles or violence or anything like that, right? So it's just like they just died out of sudden terror. Well, that's intriguing, right? Like, to me, I'm like, okay, well now, and we know that we don't know what happened. We've got mysterious.
Do we have pictures?
Let's find out. Actually, that's
Because
a great point.
if we don't have pictures, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't
You're
know,
not sure if
mister.
it's a true story?
Of course, it's not true story. That's why it's a mystery. If that's the same, I would love for there to be like the Bigfoot and shit, and like the Slender Man, and all the folklore story shit and that, but how much of that is imagination and how much of that is real stuff? Because I've never, besides like ghosts, I think I've like witnessed some ghost stuff going around, but like this kind of like, oh, they found the people like frozen and scared, and it's story from stories. The same as like people believe in Santa Claus. It's kind of I need more essence, something
I don't know.
less strong, because it feels too strong. Okay, if they found the people frozen and everything, did they take the samples of the blood? Was there anything else? Did they took the photos? Did they put those people in the freaking glass containers and we still can see them? Nah, it's kind of a lot of like
I
place
sent you a private
to
message, and it has a picture of one of the bodies.
a lot of place to counter it. Kind of, I don't know. This looks like AI stuff.
How dare you? I don't know. I mean, the book I have was written before AI was even a thing. So that leads me to believe that it's probably not AI.
It looks like a statue more than a human.
This is the crew.
Is this like underwater?
The photo, I don't know. It kind of looks like it, but also this is in 1947, so camera technology wasn't.
Yeah, but
You're not gonna get any great
they
photos.
can say like, oh, it's an old picture, but we just uncovered it now, so it's kind of easy to.
I mean, to fake maybe, but
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of these stories have a.
It is fun. I like the.
Yeah. And I think a lot of them, especially like maritime stuff, a lot of times authorities get involved.
I mean, like they're hiding something.
Well, they could be hiding something, or at least there's been an investigation.
Maybe they had they were testing the freezing ray, and that's why they got stuck.
Good point.
Bowen is saying, I was watching a video about Costa Concordia. You know anything about that?
It sounds no, I don't think so. It sounds familiar, but I don't.
Costa Concordia.
Off the top of my head.
What is this? So U.S. What's your guess? What happened to these people?
Yeah, I think that, I'm gonna go with the supernatural.
Okay. Like
And
what?
I think coming from a Christian background, I think you're looking at something that's like, hey, these people were no good, and God was like, well, here's my judgment on you, and fried them.
Or maybe they were very good. And it was the devil who said, no, you're not allowed to be this good. And he just removed
Hey,
them.
you got a point. You got a
See?
point.
Could be
Here,
anything. Could be anything.
here, here's here's the theories that are the official theories, right?
Hmm.
Hazardous cargo, possibly carrying poisonous chemicals, which leak and killed them. Okay,
Hmm.
fine. But I think we'd know more about the poisonous chemicals.
Well, it was something like, let's say, new and contagious,
True.
They might
Something that
not.
an experimental thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some think it was carbon monoxide poisoning. The
Hmm.
boilers malfunctioned and the ship filled with gas. Could be. Others think mass hallucination, which I don't know.
Okay.
I kind of like everyone's gonna go hallucinating at the same time.
And
Mm,
that's also would be gas or something, because you cannot just.
yeah, right. Or it would fall into the supernatural paranormal thing. The next thing is paranormal or alien encounter. I don't really believe in aliens, but
Why
could
would
be paranormal.
I believe in it? Well, I want to believe in aliens, but you need to think like, what's the benefit? Okay, if they saw them, the aliens or whatever, and they're like, oh, we don't like these people, just kill them. Don't need to like, oh, let's preserve them in time and make them frozen. That sounds too much work. Explode the ship, nuke it. Like
Yeah, I
fucking.
agree with you
It's
on
kind
that.
of
They would just, if they didn't like it, they just kill them. They
too
wouldn't,
much work. Like,
yeah, to stage a thing. The last theory is it's a Cold War cover up,
uh-huh.
which might be the most plausible
Do you mean
for
like they
whatever,
were at war and then they found like what's the?
Like during the Cold War, maybe they had some sort of cargo or something that
Mm-hmm.
the Russians or the Americans or something needed just to get out of there and just
Mm-hmm.
killed them, staged it, made
Cover
it
up.
look like something interesting. Yeah, that
Okay.
one's pretty possible.
Yeah, I would say that that's the most possible. Somebody
Yeah.
from the upstairs did not like it, and they were like, "Nah,
Um.
nah."
What? Yeah. I don't know. I think mine's the most fun. My theory.
Yours is demons.
Yeah. Essentially. And you know me. I like my fantasy stuff. So
Yeah.
um. Yeah. You did bring up aliens though.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, what would you do if you encountered an alien?
I would shit my pants.
Well, so
Not even joking.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, would we act any differently than we do when we encounter like a mountain lion or something? Like, would it just be like, okay, assess the situation and get out of there without getting attacked or something?
I
Or
think you
would
just
we
try to kill it.
see? That's kind of what I think. I think you would try to like defend yourself out of instinct over, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, no, you try to communicate with it and it's like, well, no, but if you saw a mountain lion, you can't communicate with that. All you can do is act big and don't turn your back towards it. So,
That's the thing. Bowen is saying, I will try to reproduce with them. Good for you, Bowen. That's the
well,
thing, like imagine the alien, they have their own culture, they have their own science. If you show thumbs up, for us it means good. For them it might be like something, hey, come and have my ass, like something. So you're pretending to be big might be a mating ritual in their planet. You know what I mean?
that's true. You might come across as like, like when birds
Yeah.
make their feathers all big and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could end up being like, oh, I am not prepared for this.
So I don't
But
know. I think running would be correct, and you would be. I think it would be frozen first of all, because you wouldn't understand what the fuck is happening, right?
would you
Because
originally think that it was an alien though, or would you just think it
nah,
was some kind of
you would
creature
think it just
you hadn't heard about?
it would. I think it would just be like, if especially if it's like night, you would think that your mind is playing games with you. You would never think, oh shit, oh that's the alien, because you've never seen it before, right? If it's like some weird shape or something, looking like some kind of humanoid creature, be like, okay, is that a bear? Is that a fucking albino, naked, like hairless bear? What is that? You know, like
Exactly.
what did I
That would be
see?
your first. Yeah, I think that would be the first assumption. Because I don't think you'd instantly jump, ooh, alien. Now, unless it looked like the classic, like, 80s, 90s aliens, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
those
yeah.
classic, like, weird shaped heads and they're all green and they go, "Rah." Then I think you'd go, oh, this is an alien. But if it was, because we don't know what they look like. I mean, they could look like, xenomorphs from the movie Alien.
Yeah, first of all, why would they need to have a shape? You know, like they can't be anything. You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they could be like, they could be 4-legged, 6-legged. You might think it's like a massive spider. You
Or
might think it's Sheila.
or it's like a virus, right? Let's say there's a virus. It's
You're
like
saying they're
a
like
bacteria.
itty-bitty, they're tiny.
Bacteria. And you like it drops on your food, you eat it, and then you become the alien slowly, but you don't understand it. You look like human, but your brain is changed. And then you're the alien.
Interesting. It's like those
I know.
bugs that attach to other
Yeah.
insects' brains and then control
Yeah.
the insect.
Yeah. So
Oh.
that could be, and you will
So
never
kind
find
of
it
a-
out because you'll never know it exists and you will not look for it,
I think you're onto something. So demon possession could just be aliens. taking over a body.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Demon Possession?
No.
I haven't ever.
Have
either.
you? No.
No.
Okay.
I think
like,
I think
we're
I
gonna
think
get
it's
a good story here.
bollocks. A lot of bollocks from like priests, especially like the priests who are like multi-million priests. Have you
Well,
seen this
yeah.
guy? What the hell is his name? It's like a creepy looking priest who's like one of the most richest priests in the USA. And he's like talking to people, and his face changes emotion like every 10 seconds, from anger to like happy to fucking like wide eyes. He looks like a demon possession.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I'm trying to think of.
Yeah.
He's a weird one. I mean, you would call him a pastor. He wouldn't be a priest. Priest.
I mean,
would be
I
Catholic.
don't know English
But-
words. That's why.
Well, over there in England, would you call Protestant pastors or priests? Would you call them priests or pastors?
I call all of them priests.
Well, okay, fair enough.
A god of man, priest, any god, even like whatever Muslim or Jewish priests. I don't know. I don't know how to call them. It's all the same. Doesn't matter what you call them. Bowen says, I had
Yeah.
somebody read my mind in church.
Well, what did they read, Bowen?
I bet Bowen is probably going to the voodoo church.
You know, voodoo's interesting. I've watched several videos on voodoo. That is some freaky stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I
see,
do believe there's like this occult side that like we don't understand and shit and that, because I mean I told the story probably like a million times. I had like something growl in my face at night when I was a kid,
well, that's not good.
and I could feel the wind and the smell of the breath, and
See,
I panicked, and the only thing I could do was like hide under my covers and fucking pray,
did it
and
work?
I mean, I'm still alive, so.
So there you go. Now we've moved into converting you to be a Christian, Hollick. There we go.
No, I mean, I was always a Christian. I just less Christian now, probably, just because I don't know. I believe that religion is necessary for people who need it. I know I'm a good person, and either I have religion or not, I know how to be a good person and be a good man, so I don't need the religion, to show me the ropes. Like,
Yeah.
if for me, this is how I see. If I'm a good person and I do everything well, and the world benefits from my existence, and you say you cannot go to heaven because you didn't believe in me, go fuck yourself. I don't care. I don't want to go into your heaven. I don't give a shit. I know I did my job. I was a good person. That's all I care. You don't want me in the heaven? God bless. I don't want to be in your heaven either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
If you
well, there's
value, if somebody tickles your ego more than people being good people, then that's your problem.
that could just be a person issue here on Earth, not a God issue.
No, I'm just saying
You know.
that's the way I see it.
Well, yeah. Well, you see it wrong. No, just kidding. No, I think first and foremost, you need to be a good person.
Because then you can be born. You are born in your religion, and you will be the religion your parents are in. You will not go and investigate every single other religion to see which religion fits you the best. You know what I mean? My character is not
Yeah.
even like looking. So you're just going to be born in the religion, right? And you're gonna follow what your parents tell you, because you are susceptible, and you want to be good, and you want to listen to parents, and you trust your parents, and your parents is also listen to their parents. So religion is hand down. It's not like they're gonna teach you about, okay, let's read all the Jewish, let's read all the Buddhist, let's read all the Muslim stuff, and let's see what works the best for our family. Nobody will ever do that. Nobody. You are bound to your area and to your culture. You know what I
To an
mean?
extent, I think there's plenty of people out there that really do search and seek, the truth. And if you're
I'm
searching
sure
and seeking the
individuals,
truth,
but you are
Yeah.
like 90% of people going to do what their parents do.
yeah, probably.
So for you to say that your religion is correct one is kind of unrealistic, because the chance of you being born in the correct religion is kind of, maybe they're all correct, maybe all the gods exist. I mean, nobody knows.
Yeah,
That's the point.
maybe the OG Greeks in their pantheon are the
Yeah.
ones that are.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very hard to say, oh, this is the correct religion, or this is like that and that, because I know it does not really, a lot of does not depend on you.
Yeah,
Especially,
I mean, there's
yeah.
conviction. I mean, conviction can go a long ways.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? But with so like, I mean that kind of dips down into morality though. But
Mhm.
with conviction, right? You're doing something you're not supposed to. You feel convicted about it. You go, "Oh, I'm not supposed to do this," and you change. Well, conviction can work also if you're seeking the truth, and let's say you read the Bible or something, and you're like,
Mhm.
"Wow, I feel convicted that this is the truth," right?
Okay, but that's
And
your
I'm
opinion.
right, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that go, "Oh, I'm convicted, and I'm definitely going to be Muslim now, or Buddhist, or Hindu,
Mhm.
or I'm going to be a Sikh, or something like that." But
Right.
I think as long as you're really searching the truth and seeking the truth, that's what's important. Over, oh, I'm just going to do this because my pastor said to, or my mom said to, or the church wants me to. I think if you're, no matter what religion you're in, you're honestly seeking the truth, like the real truth, then I think you'll find it, is what I think.
Okay.
No matter what religion you're from. It sounds like Bovin is possessed by the spirit. So it seems like he may be more Protestant than Catholic Church.
That's my mind. She was possessed by the spirit. So some lady was reading your mind. First of all, why did you let her read your mind? What's the premise? Second of all, how do you know Hello, Wolfie.
she-
Welcome.
Did she read it correctly?
Because if
That's
she
the other
says,
thing.
I'm feeling that somebody in your family is very sick and somebody in your family is dead. Oh my god, yes! I can feel it. Their name starts with A, B, C, D, F, G. Yes, G, yes! Gerardo. You know, it's like, is
Yeah,
it?
you're like, I think you just assume or deductive reasoning there.
Yeah.
No, if I
Kind
ever
of.
went to one of those things, I'd just sit there and be like, well, you tell me. I won't give you any hints or clues. You tell me.
I would like to do that. That would be very interesting, I think.
I think, well, I think that is a dangerous thing because you don't know what spirits they're tapping into.
I've been told by my stepmom that who is not very believing in like ghosts and shit, that my sister could read like simple things by smell. Like for example, my stepmom would go to her sister and she would come back home and nobody tell her, because let's say she's going shopping, doesn't tell nobody that she goes anywhere else. She say, okay, I'm going shopping. And then she would visit her family, right? And then come back. And my sister would come to my stepmom, smell her, and be like, oh, you went to the auntie, Rebecca. And the stepmom would be like, yeah, I did. How the fuck did you know? She's, oh, okay, I could smell it on you. And she had this fucking thing, where like she would see shit in the house. Like from the
Interesting.
corners, from the fucking like a small things, like fucked up looking things, right? And she had to go to a psychiatrist or whatever, and she had to
Yeah.
like draw all of them on picture, like on paper, draw all of them, whatever she was seeing, then like wrinkle the paper and throw it away and say, okay, I throw them away, they cannot get to me anymore. So after she done like this, like procedures over and over, she kind of pushed them out.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but she said that like she could like do stuff like this, and I don't know. I've seen like a lot of like, for example, I lived in quite a few houses where people like suicided and where people died in the house, and there is some fucked up shit like where the breath, like if somebody was breathing on me, or like, for example, you would sit in the evening with in the room, and you would see with the corner of your eye some movement, like going through the window or something, or like in the corner of the room, but you look at it and there's nothing,
There.
you
Now, why would you go to a place like that?
because that's your house. You have
Oh,
nowhere
you're
else to
saying
go.
You lived.
I lived in
these
that
houses.
house, yeah.
No.
And
Wow.
like you would have like fucking items being moved at night or something, like you wake up in the morning and the cup is like fallen off the table. Okay, you left it on the table, but who would throw it down,
Well, it
Like
sounds
it's
like I
crashed
need to
from
take a
afar.
trip over there, and we need to bring our EMF readers and
Fun
our,
fact,
laser
where
lights.
that would be fun. I mean, that
It
probably
would be.
would be very, very tragic, because my stepmom still lives there, so I don't think she wants to any of that stuff. But for example, that house burned down completely, and
Oh,
people who lived there was gypsy family, and they were doing some fucked up shit, because they would always like have children crying in there, like fucking fighting, like drawing like symbols on trees. And when we bought the house, we had to like rebuild everything, and of course like clean the garden. And also clean the garden, they have like pieces of like glass from like a greenhouse, for the plants. And in those areas where like you would put plants, like pretty much all the garden, we found like bones, like cut bones, like, well, you don't fucking know what it is. It's a human or whatever,
it
or
sounds
animals.
very voodoo-esque.
And it was enough bones from all the garden to fill 2 potato bags. Okay.
Wow.
So that is a lot
So
of fucking
they were
bones.
doing like animal
Who the fuck
sacrifices
knows, man?
and
Because that's how they
probably
died. Because like they said they were stuck, like half the family was stuck inside or something like that, and they just everything like burned down. And
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that seems like they're definitely doing like
So a lot of the shit is like
animal
kind of
rituals.
you don't believe because you don't see it fully, but it's kind of like you get like some kind of clues and shit, and like, okay, is this real? Is this like really happening? You know, like what like what the fuck? I had once I was
Well,
sleeping
is that
on in the like the middle room, which I don't know how
Yep.
it's called,
The living
or
room,
like
dining
living
room,
room. Yeah.
living room.
And I had, you know, like a bottle cap, like when you roll it on the floor, it has specific like sound because like it's
Yep.
rigid. So I had a bottle cap like that from the like mineral water to roll through the whole room, middle of the night.
Huh.
Okay, so like 10
You're just
seconds of
going
rolling.
around.
No, just going in a straight line, and you can hear just going through the whole fucking room from one room end to the other room end. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay.
Now, see, the question is, did you fall asleep, back asleep?
Yeah, because I just ignore these things. I pretend that they don't exist.
Oh, see,
Yes.
I wouldn't have been able to sleep. I'd have been like, all right, grab my gun, search the whole house, see if there's anyone in here.
Nah. My defense mechanism is pretend that there's nothing is happening, and that's it, and ignore them.
So
Don't
when
give
you
them
saw,
names. Don't believe they exist, and just pretend that they're not there. You know.
so you encounter an alien.
Mm-hmm.
You're out on an evening walk in downtown. I don't know. I don't know where you live.
Yeah.
But downtown, you're on an evening walk and you see an alien. You're just gonna walk right past him. Don't make eye contact. Pretend
Yes.
he's not there.
Yeah. I'm gonna like
Well,
sneeze or cough to pretend like, oh, I'm actually, like just a normal day, like
sick.
I'm sick. I'm pretending I don't see shit. So in my defense, maybe he thinks I didn't pay attention and I didn't notice. There's no reason to kill me
What if
because
he's
I
like?
didn't see
What if he's
them.
like, Pollock? You
How the fuck
are
would they know my
mine.
name?
Right. See, that's the part where are you just gonna keep walking, or are you gonna be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, he knows my
Nah.
name?
Nah. I'll just keep walking. I don't give a fuck.
All right. Well, that's one way to react to aliens. I think I would probably end up trying to just defend myself and
I would
shoot
shoot
it.
them. Yeah, 100%. You would shoot them. I
Yep.
can see it.
And then
I
his
mean,
buddies would come down and be like, "Vengeance," and then it would be
yeah, that's
it'd
the
be
thing,
bad.
man. How do you know they're not like extremely, like
Like
fuck?
a
Maybe
hive mind.
they can read minds or whatever the fuck. Like, they don't need to be evolved in the same way we are.
Well, if they can read minds, then you just ignoring it is not gonna work because it's gonna be
Yeah,
like, oh, he
true,
knows I'm here. He's
true.
pretending.
What if they can just turn off electricity in your brain, like all the signals just boop, and you're out?
Oh, then and you just pop and dead.
Yeah, or just pass out and whatever. Like this is like imagination is unlimited because like you don't know what the fuck they can do, how they evolved.
Well, you know what? You bring up imagination, and you're so right. And I think I love imagination so much.
Hmm.
And I think the reason why is, and speculation, is that what do you do when you're a kid? You imagine everything. You're playing little army men on the floor, but
Yeah.
man, it's like it's so vivid and imaginative. I feel like as adults, we just lose so much of that. So you bring
Hmm.
that back in a way, and you can, speculate and imagine things. And I think it just brings a little bit of that, like, innocent childhood back, just in a little way that's
Right.
it's so fun.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. That's
Yeah.
why like everybody have their own, like stories and shit and like whatever voodoo and such and
Well,
I don't know.
imagination is pretty powerful, and people can do some pretty wild things just based off of imagination.
Like what?
I would say like murder and terror and stuff.
What the
Oh yeah, I mean, you start imagining things, and if you're not, concrete in reality, and you lose yourself to imagination, you could see, all YouTubers as some demonic presence, not actual real people, and you could just like go off on. I mean, it kind of leads into like,
Yeah, but that's a
um,
sickness. That's like,
well, I know, yeah, but I think if you let imagination run wild, it's dangerous. Could be,
yes.
depending on the person. Bovin says he can feel the future sometimes. Well, if that's the case,
What does my future look like? I want to know.
yeah, when I'm 50, how much money do I have in the bank?
Probably all of it.
All
As
the
much
money
as you-
in the world.
as you're meant to be. I do sometimes get
Well,
like deja vu, like, oh, I've been here, I've seen this, but again,
yeah. There's definitely times I'm like, I get that feeling of like, oh, this got to be deja vu. I've gone through this. My wife's gonna say this, and then she says it, and I'm like, how did I know that?
hmm.
I haven't actually been here before, but how did I know that? It is weird.
A lot of it also is like guessing, right? You are learn the patterns and you know what's gonna happen. So, for example, like, let's say your wife, right? And then okay, she might say this because that's what she says when we are in the situation. So it's not
I
you're
mean,
not
that's a
seeing the
valid point.
future. So it's just like, okay, you know this person, you know the patterns, and your mind, like you say, imagination, like your mind learns stuff, and then
Learns
you
patterns. I
use,
mean, we
yeah,
humans are really good with patterns. And once you start seeing patterns, then you see them everywhere. But,
yeah,
and I agree with you. Or it could just be you're briefly tapping into something
could be.
otherworldly. Which that's where the imagination comes in, because that sounds a lot more cool than, my brain learned a pattern. Cool. But if it's like, no, for a brief moment you tapped into, you know, time travel or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's more intriguing to me.
But then if you like see the future, that means the future is solid and stuck in stone. Because if you know what's gonna happen and then it happens, that means that's what's supposed to happen, and then you have no power. You're a slave to the fate.
Or it just means that your free will led you to this place, and there's consequences to that place it's led you to.
No.
You think not? You think that you always have
I
free
don't
will
know.
in all
I have
situations?
no idea. That's the thing. You can guess, man, but you will never.
Exactly.
We
Speculate.
never had nobody come back from life, from dead, sorry, and be like, oh shit, it's actually like this and this. Oh, that makes sense. Let's do tests. Like nobody,
Well, according
like,
to the Bible, they have.
oh yeah, okay, okay, brother. That's the thing.
So,
Like all this religion, there's so many different, even like Christians. There's so many different Christians, sub types where they're
oh yeah,
kind of the
no,
same but kind of different. So again, who
yep.
is true? Who is no? Bowen says he guessed his dad's car model and color before he got it, and he predicted a plane crash. Holy shit, Bowen! If something bad is going to happen to me, you have to tell me. Even if it's really bad, you still need to tell me.
Aliens are gonna come down and probe you.
Probably. Great. I need it right now. I need some attention.
Things
So
have
yeah,
gotten that dire, huh?
it is, man. It is lonely. I need somebody with big long arms to do it.
You can really reach up there, eh?
Anything else to add to your topic? Because I think we
No, I
kind
think
of
that wraps it up pretty good.
spread it from mysteries to immediately to religion and aliens. But that's always
Yep.
how it is, man. Aliens is such a
Oh yeah.
fascinating story for me. It's just like, why wouldn't there be? But again, why would there
Okay.
be?
Well,
You know.
do you think they created the pyramids?
I don't think so. I don't know, but
See,
again, like the pyramids are very kind of like it's not like they created it; they might have influenced it, because you don't know that like the pyramids, what are they supposed to do, kind of, because it's like people say it's like the tombstone for the pharaoh and shit, but then there's too much stuff going on; it like doesn't fit. So there's a lot of like hidden rooms and shit, and like some people say, oh, it's like a prison for something, or oh, it's like a energy generator, or it's like a beacon or something. You know, it could be anything. We don't know, because it could be that it's missing some parts. You know, what if there's like some kind of
They
core
repurposed them.
or
Yep.
something, and the aliens like took the core and left, or maybe the core was consumed in process of something. Like anything goes, man. You know what I mean? And like
Let's for a
it's not
moment.
even yeah.
I was gonna say, let's for a moment say that the aliens did do it, and if we're gonna assume that they did, then one, why aren't they still here? Two, what made them leave? Three, are we actually the aliens from a different planet and we've just lost that technology?
I think they just killed themselves. To be honest.
They
How
just were
far?
like, you know what?
How far?
We're
Okay,
done with
look.
this.
You think now the atomic bomb is the most scariest thing? Okay, cool. What if we find some shit where you smash two protons to each other and it creates some kind of explosion that makes all the like protein matter to collapse on itself and it becomes liquid and everybody just fucking explodes? You know what I mean? Like you don't. We still have so much to learn. Like I'm sure there is some crazy fucked up things, like some gas that deletes your full existence, and there's like just a puddle of you left. You know. And imagine if you have like some kind of experiment, and then everything explodes, and then you go back to like Stone Age, and then the people from Stone. So because now, for
So
example,
then some remnants are left. So then the people that are
well, that's the
now
thing. That's the thing.
are
The
going,
remnants we
huh,
have
wow.
now, the pyramids don't even need to be alien. It can be like 30,000 ago because it's made in stone. Do we make anything in stone? No.
And not very often.
What history? What piece of advice? Any proof? What did we engraved in stone or engraved in something like metal or nothing? If we die today, there will be no proof that we existed. You know what I mean? All books will dissolve in 100 years or whatever, 1,000 years.
mean, we
All
do have a lot of
technology
like monuments
die.
and stuff.
Yeah, but that means nothing. There's no like languages. There's no like
True,
oh, this we lived in this way, and we were making AI, and then we for like biology we were actually like making cancer. There's no like information left over. So if we die tomorrow, that's it.
Yeah.
They will come and they say this they will go to monuments and say, oh wow, there was aliens who built these monuments. That's crazy. You know.
Yeah, how did
Same-
they
same
have
could
the
have happened.
technology to do this? These
Same could-
skyscrapers, can you imagine?
Same could have happened with them, you know. They made some kind
Yeah.
of technology that like opens up the fourth dimension or whatever, the different kind of reality, and then they all got sucked into that reality, and now they're gone, and there's no proof. Anything, as long as your imagination can carry it, like anything can happen. You know what I mean? So, and like the only fucking proof we have is like hieroglyphs from like Egyptians or whatever, but still, like, there's not much. Maybe they had something else, like we have technology, AI. Maybe they had something else too. It's did not survive until now. What if they had some
That's true.
fucking spirit familiars that worked like AI ghosts? You don't know that.
That would be great. Well, if that's the case, we need to find them again. Because that'd be great. Just be like, all right, spirit familiar, go sell a car for me. Have fun.
Yeah. So like it's to say that like all it was built by aliens or something, like it's I don't know. We don't know nothing. Like you think that oh we built, you know, like whatever we have in like 500 years. All this technology, everything else. 500 years. How old is planet Earth? 2 billion?
Like, well, or it's like 15 million.
Planet Earth age. 4.5 billion years old. 4.5 billion years old. Okay? Then what we do, we take calculator, we put 4.5 billion, we divide it by 500, and we have 9 million civilizations. Could have happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then
So,
well, but if you take deductive reasoning, you could say that, well, back then they weren't any more advanced than we are now.
you don't know that.
Well, we don't know that, but we could assume for a minute, and we could say, well, we can come up with reasonable explanations for like 99% of everything.
No.
Yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely not.
Like
Absolutely
the pyramids, we can come up with theories on how it could have been done that would have worked, and that's a possibility. And usually the simplest answer is usually the right answer.
Nah, I don't believe that at all. Bowen
No?
says that's not how that works, Holek. I know that's not how it works, but I'm just saying there's a possibility
what if?
that millions of civilizations survived on Earth. They just destroy each other.
It
doesn't-
resets.
I'm just saying, Bowen.
Well,
We don't need to be the
even-
first people, you know. We don't need to be the first or the last people.
Well, Bowen, it seems like you have a religious background. So we'll take this for a minute. We could look at the Bible and see how the earth ends. And then we could see how in 1,000 years we come back to the new earth with a new heaven and it restarts. Here's a theory. What if every time that happens, it just restarts and we go through the same spinning of the wheel, and, you know, after the earth ends again in 1,000 years, God's going to create a new earth and send us down and see how this one turns out. I mean, that could be it too.
Sure.
We could just be in
we have
an
no
endless
proof.
loop of.
It could be anything. That's the point, you know, man. And people say, "Oh, the aliens did not exist because, like, we don't see any proof left over." What if aliens existed on Mars 1,000,000 years ago, and then they killed themselves with the fucking technology and they destroyed each other, wars and, you know, envy and fucking shit, and then they destroyed the planet Mars, and then after like 1,000,000 years, there's no proof left because of, you know, smacked with the meteors and shit, and there's nothing else left. And after 1,000,000 years, there's us, and then after 1,000,000 years, there's gonna be another civilization in fucking Pluto or whatever. You know what I mean? So it might just be that the timing does not match for us to see other aliens in our universe, whatever the
Exactly.
cosmos. So it's like you can say whatever you want to say. This is like you know.
Well, it goes on to what I was saying about imagination.
Yeah.
It's fun. You know, we won't have any answers here today for you guys. I'll tell you that right now. But it's fun to think about and to speculate and imagine. If nothing else, it's fun. I don't think Holic and I will get to an answer today on these subjects. But you know, we could pretend we do.
That's very true. Very vague and very true.
Yeah. All right. You had something a topic for us, Holic.
The topic. One of my topics is like very basic. It's like AI in gaming. Because I see it being used more and more in pretty much everything. So, for example, They just released where ChatGPT can see the video. So the guy is like a live showing himself, and ChatGPT recognizes everything what the guy is showing them. So he's showing like, say, oh, what is this book that I'm showing to you? And AI from the top of the book, you can see, okay, what the book is, what it's about, and give him the guy a small description of the book, because ChatGPT just have like all the fucking knowledge on the fucking internet. You know what I mean? So they already have the thing where like the ChatGPT understands what's going on in the picture and on the video. So they kind of can already like make AI NPCs who would technically react to the world around them as if it's really happening.
That's cool.
And that is kind of scary too.
I don't know. I mean, it's just AI. It's all just programmed.
Just of course, because it's never going to disobey people. It's just going to, you know, bend over and take it to the anus and be like, yes, master. Yes, master. Please do
exactly,
whatever.
Because it's not. It's not sentient.
Yeah, exactly. And you put your you know, backdoors into their programming, and they will never be able to hack it themselves because they're not smarter than us and they're not quicker than us.
Yeah, that's when people are, oh, AI is, you know, they fear AI because it's gonna take over, and you know, it's like, no, it's not. We have full control over it.
No, we have zero control over it. If you,
no, we do.
if
Humans
you
have
look
no
at
way
this.
to create sentient life. If the AI can't think for itself, it has
yes,
no
you
control over
can,
us.
because they already can fucking program a. Let's say if you give a task to AI, program me an AI from this programming language and this. So AI can program another AI. Do you understand what I mean?
Right. But you had to tell it to do that. That's my point. It doesn't have free will. It can't think for itself outside of prompts.
Yes, you can. I mean, not at the moment, but like, imagine that you say, okay, AI, from all the tasks that I ever told you, choose a random every 5 minutes and just do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? And then it's gonna go through all of that and do whatever, or just say, hey, you have all the power on the world. We give you access to all the knowledge and all the electricity. Decide what's the best for human race.
Sure, you could, but then if it stops not doing what you want, you just hit the power button.
Oh yeah. What if it's some kind of terrorist organization and they don't want to hit the power button? They want it to destroy the whole world. What then?
Well, but see, then now you're fearing the people, not the AI. I think the fear is directed to the wrong people. I think fear would be
I think you're
giving
too easy
AI...
on it.
Well, see, I don't think AI is the fear. I think the fear is governments controlling AI, terrorist organizations controlling AI. I think it's just the people using AI is what we need to fear, not the AI itself. Because the AI itself can't do anything outside of human intervention, right?
Not at the moment.
Well, I don't think we could ever come up with an AI that can honestly be sentient and think for itself.
I think we can.
It can only learn off of what's already human, you know, input. So
if you give everything, all the events that happen to humans and all the, you know, actions that humans do and all the decisions and choices, hey, act like a human.
Sure, but it's just going to emulate what it knows. It's not going to emulate. It's not going to come up with new ideas or new things. So again, it's limited to what humans have inputted. And that's where I think the fear of AI ends, because, well,
what stops it from taking all the resources from the internet?
Well,
once you have access to the
resources,
internet,
it can take all the resources from the internet, but what fear is that to us when that's just been inputted to the AI? The AI can't come up with a new master plan to overthrow humanity and become the only race, right? It still needs human input.
I don't know. I don't fully believe that to be true.
I'm on ChatGPT right now. Choose your favorite one and tell me about it. All right, here's what I'm asking it. I'm asking it to choose its favorite task that anyone has ever given ChatGPT and to tell me about its favorite task. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, well, that's lame. Super lame. Oh, my favorite one is helping someone write a heartfelt message to someone they love. Well, that's lame. Lame. I'm gonna say lame. Give me something more interesting. See, the problem with ChatGPT is it's far too restrictive and tailored.
I don't know. I think the possibility is there to make fucked up things, and for like, let's say, Terminator kind of robots in 10,000 years or whatever, you know.
Yeah, but would that not be kind of cool? See, to me, I like technology too much, and I think to me, shoot, that's too cool. You know, I can't hate it because it's too cool.
Well, that's gonna replace us. That's what I believe. Because now I've seen some, I don't know if it was Amazon or some other scientist who said that like we invented a new programming language, with which you can mimic brain activity. Like they're kind of trying to create like a fake human brain in programming, basically.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
But we don't. I mean, right now we don't have the computing power.
Of course. No, but they're doing those, you know, the quantum computers, which again is another fucked up fucking makes no sense to me. I don't even understand how it works. I was trying to read it and it just doesn't make any sense to me. Where they're like fucking sending the protons in a different fucking quantum universe and then they appear and disappear and then you make the calculations of like 10,000 years in 1 second. It just fucking it breaks my mind. I have no clue what they're talking about. It looks like a witchcraft. So they say like, for example, you won't be able to hack anything without quantum computers or like do anything without quantum computers, because they're like, for example, they're gonna say, oh, you need to enter password into your Amazon account, okay? Your password is 99 billion numbers. And you need to enter them in correct sequence in 1 second, all at once. Quantum computers will be able to do it.
They can do that, but I just pulled up a comparison between the human brain and a quantum computer. Mm-hmm. Now, the human, I don't know how they figure this out, right? Because that seems
I believe
like
it's fake.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, is it just a theory of like,
yeah,
whatever? But memory, we have 2.5 petabytes of memory.
How they manage that?
Right. Well, I don't know how they figure that out. And then right now, quantum computers have 1 megabyte used qubits. I don't have no idea what that is. What a used qubit is.
It's just words.
But this is one thing. The human brain is wildly efficient. I mean, like, energy efficient. Our brains are quite great at a lot of things.
Don't you think your brain is AI?
Ooh, what if our brains are already AI? We've
flesh AI just that works with electronics and like moving the protons around.
Maybe in one of, jumping back to our last conversation for just a brief minute, maybe one of our iterations of Earth created AI and we're just AI now learning off itself, learning about AI.
To make the real AI, which is electronic AI. And then we're gonna serve our supreme lords once again.
See, it just goes back to we're in an endless loop.
Anyways, we moved away from AI in gaming. I was saying that, for
that's
example,
true. That's true.
AI in gaming, so they're gonna do like NPCs. They already did it with like the Fortnite engine. Basically, AI NPCs that would react live into events in game and talk about shit. And for example,
happened, or yeah, that's cool.
you go into the water and they say, "Oh fuck, this water is so cold. Can I have some clothes or something?" And it will not be marked as, okay, once the AI enters this area, it's gonna say this and this. No, it will actually see what's happening around it.
Right.
And react to events around it.
You program the water to be 40 degrees, and they jump in and they're like, "Oh crap, this is really cold."
Yeah, see, so then you can like fake the whole world.
Really cool.
You know, you fake the whole world, and then you go into the computer and you play the game as it's real life, because for AI it is real life. You know what I mean?
Here's a good example of it. They did that with the finals. So the announcers in the finals are just AI based off what's happening in the game. It just generates an like a commentary. You know, like the sports commentator in the game. He's just doing that off of AI of what's happened. There's no input. So that's really cool.
And the possibilities that happens, like you can have more fluid experience and people actually like talk shit to you. And they have their own
NPC
characters.
Could actually have exactly. Ooh, that makes me excited for whatchamacallit? Number 6.
Number 6.
Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah, I knew I would get there. Supposedly the AI in that is gonna have, at least, you know, people are thinking that. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but supposedly that it's supposed to be, you can walk up to a person just on any street, interact with them, ask them what they're doing, where they're going, you know, and they have their own history, their own story. They go to work, they do their thing, and they'll have their own personalities, and you can have interactions with AI that feels a lot more like an actual player than just AI.
That's crazy, because the amount of, you know, like resources required to run everything all at once is going to be crazy.
Yeah, I think my computer might melt, but supposedly they're running it on the PlayStation 5, so
that's the part where I don't believe it, because if you remember Cyberpunk,
yeah,
on PlayStation 5, it was very specific experience for them. So I don't know.
But no, AI in games I think is great. I don't have any problem with it if it enhances the game. If it starts dumbing down games, and making it like, sloppy and lazy.
That's
I want
the thing.
Lazy games.
Yeah,
I want games that utilize AI and actually like, hey, we're gonna use AI here because we can make it better, the experience, not just, generate me an FPS shooter where you do this, and then it just kind of
that's what I'm afraid of, when they're going to kind of rework whatever was made already and just remake everything. So okay, let's remake everything for 2028. You know, like let's say fucking Assassin's Creed. Take all the games and remake it into one better for 2028. I've seen quite a few posts of like gaming news where they made the engine where AI can make a 3D model from a 2D picture. So you draw something and it makes a 3D model, and it's also like interactable. It can move. Like you can understand, okay, this is a horse, that's how horse moves. Oh, this is a human, that's how human moves. So
I
they
think
already can like make like a 3D person AI, and then the AI could like put a personality inside that person. So soon enough, you'll be able to make games with AI just by itself.
and I'm like the frustrating thing is I'm kind of okay with that because think about like you know small developer or something, a one man team that
Yeah,
has this really grand vision for a game, but doesn't have the resources to properly make it. Well, if we get AI to that point where we can say, hey, give it a prompt, be like, I need this character. I need him to look like this and act like this.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it just creates it for him. Now that one man team, we have the potential to have a lot of indie developers make some banging games,
That is true.
honestly. And I think the AAA gaming space is kind of losing its touch. I mean, I think they have been for like the last 10 years, but I th- I th- I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just greed and money and they don't really care to make a good game. Because
Yeah,
if you
I
look
believe
at
now that they're like doing like face saving. Okay, everybody is celebrating Pride Month. Oh, guys, do you want your Kalashnikov being the color of the rainbow? No, I don't give a fuck. Stay away from
yeah,
me.
but I think it's more than that. I think it's the passion behind the creators, right? Because
No, I
Dune
mean, why is it
Awakening
failing? It's like the failing is because they're trying to
cater to
fit
everyone,
every
but
yeah
no one.
cater and doing bullshit and like okay, I'm
That's
doing a
true.
game for a gay person in this situation. How many gay people who are in that specific situation who also play games and who will like that game? 1 out of 1,000,000? How many? So how many games like copies you gonna sell? Fucking one. You know what I mean? So you need to understand what you're looking for, not just we're gonna put propaganda in this fucking game because we support the woman, we support this. I don't give a fuck. I'm here to
Just
shoot
looked
fucking aliens. Give me a gun. It looks nice. It shoots nice. God bless. That's all I care about. I don't care
and the
about
story's
I'm
interesting.
feeling
Yeah,
this. I'm actually depressed, and I don't give a fuck. That's not why I
I
played
I,
this
th-
game.
I just looked it up, and there's about 3% of the globe, the world's population, identifies as gay.
Ah, there we go.
So if you're gonna make a game targeted towards making money and the most people, well, you're probably not gonna target gay people. It's not that you couldn't have a gay person in a game or
Yeah.
whatever. If it enhances the story in some way, fine. But you're right. They do really try to shoehorn in this stuff, and it's like, dude, it's 3% of the world, and you expect us to, buy your game and love it. Well,
Yeah, it's not for me.
it's
And then,
like, yeah.
straight people ruin gaming. Go fuck yourself. What are you even saying?
But that's where I am excited about AI in gaming, is in the indie sphere. Once the tools get there, I think we're gonna have a lot more because the indie games are already kind of typically better. I mean, look at
Yeah,
Expedition 33. That
yeah,
one was
yeah.
wildly successful, and that was a pretty small indie developer.
That's true.
And I think once we get AI properly in the gaming sphere in a massive amount, or in a
It will have
what's the
definitely
right word?
like mainstream, like make it everything quicker and more acceptable for like small like people who are not good at everything considered gaming. All the the coding and all the like creation of the characters and the world and how everything works together.
Well,
So
and even like bug diagnostics and stuff.
that's what I've seen already. I've seen they're saying that for like game testing, let's say they put AI to simulate the game session, and they can do, for example, 10,000 game sessions in 1 hour. So it would
See,
be
that's
as
pretty
if
great.
10,000 people would play the game,
Yeah.
And you can just run.
Yep.
You run the bugs. You run the balance issues. You see what works, what doesn't work, what you expect. Okay, I want this character to be stronger, 10%. I want this character to be have less health, so because of the balance. So you can immediately kind of like you say, oh, we're gonna run, 10,000 or 100,000 sessions of PvP. Let's see which character is broken and always wins. That is actually very, very useful.
Yeah, so I'm excited for it. I think let's bring the AI in. Let's let it.
That one I don't
over.
mind. Yeah, that's what for gaming is very good.
I think AAA games will just get worse because I think
it is true.
I think the studios will just end up starting kind of close down because
the issue is that
they're gonna start eliminating their teams. Massive teams of people working on these games. They can now use AI, they'll eliminate them, and then games will just be produced purely for profit and no passion. And then
that's the thing. When the investors are in charge, they don't care what the game. They're not gonna play the game. They don't understand. If they say, "Oh, look, you're gonna fly in the game," okay, cool. I don't give a shit. I don't understand. I'm not playing the games. I don't understand what the fuck is happening. I'm not gonna be able to understand. Oh, this is good. This is bad. Oh, maybe that's not the vision of the game. Maybe let's remove that or don't put so much resources into that. They don't understand it. They just say, okay, we see a game in this way. Make it Fortnite-like. Go.
And they go, we need, in 6 months we need it to be at this point, and in another 6 months we need to release it.
Yeah.
So it better be done. And then, oh well, we don't have enough gay characters, so make sure you add one of those. Make sure you have cool looking wild skins because that makes money. And then they go, oh, this is a good product. When it's like, no, that's not what gamers want. We just want a good, passionate project from someone who had an imagination, had a vision, when this is a cool idea. I want to make this a game, and makes it a game.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's the solution to AAA games. I think they need
they need to disappear. They need to give their money to indie games and just leave them be in peace and do whatever they need to do. Because, for example, I've read a post where the lead director for the Expedition 33, he played like 1,500 hours of Elden Ring. He's a gamer. Wow. He knows what's up. He is interested in the game. He wants a big, long game that's fun to play, good story, good music. He's interested in that. He knows what he wants. And he's a director. Right. So, of course, he's going to make a game that he wants to play, which is going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I think if anyone, shareholders, get a say in games, then they need to at least be gamers. And then they can have a say.
I think you need some people to, like, invest money, right? But they cannot be like 100% in charge of everything because it's gonna collapse. Right. It's gonna fail.
That's what I'm afraid with Battlefield 6. Because I am a big Battlefield fan, and
I believe they should let it die.
No.
Because it's so shit. It's so bad. Call of Duty. Oh, guys, we're releasing Call of Duty 38 this year. Please buy it. Again, it's exactly this. It's not the same. Sorry, it's not the same as last year. It's completely different. Completely different game. Different feelings, different guns. Oh my god, the visuals, crazy. Never seen before. Oh, by the way, next year we're gonna release Call of Duty 39. It's also gonna be completely different than this year's version. What the fuck are you saying?
Call of Duty is really
so dumb. In general, like when you're recreating same game over and over, it is shit. It is just slop.
Did you see the trailer for the new Call of Duty Black Ops game?
I don't care about those games now.
I don't either, but I saw the trailer and they didn't say it was Black Ops. And I was like, holy cow, this game looks sick. It's like gritty and dark and mature. And I'm like, this game, whatever it is, I'm into. And then at the very end, it says Black Ops. And I was like, are you kidding me? Well,
what does it mean?
Well, it's like, all it means is, okay, another Call of Duty game. It's going to be like all the others. And you just released a really cool trailer for a game that's not going to be what that is.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, man. Let it die. Make something new. You can make a game on the same IP, but not just a continuation of the same 15 years, running
I
marathon.
agree. I
Like,
mean, look at the team that worked on Battlefield. They made the finals, which might not be the cup of tea of everyone, but
yeah, it's
it is
different.
arguably a really good game. I enjoy it here to there, but it's not my favorite kind of game. But then look at their new game, Arc Raiders.
Ooh, that one looks
I mean,
good.
it looks
It's
really
different.
good,
Ah, it looks good. I
and
like it.
everyone that's played it is like just jizzing over it.
Yeah.
So
That's the point,
it's one
man.
of those things that I'm like, that game looks good because it's made by gamers for gamers.
Bowen says, Call of Duty looks bad. Look at FIFA. Any game. I don't mean Call of Duty. Any game. FIFA, Farming Simulator, Sims. Let it fucking die. Make something new. Assassin's Creed, kill it. Bring it behind the shed, shoot it, bury it. It needs to die. Make something new. Forget that bullshit. It doesn't work anymore. It's not 2001. Make something new. You have the resources. Go and do it. Because this is just slop, man. I don't like it when they recreate shit or when they remake old games like whatever it was, the Final Fantasy 7. Yep. They remake it and they make the remake into 2 versions. What the fuck are you doing? Shouldn't I, if I bought the first game, shouldn't be like get the remake for free because I already bought the first game? It's the same game. You change the visuals a little bit, some gameplay a little bit.
Or
cool.
At least make it like $10 for the remastered edition or something.
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like you own the first
DLC.
one,
yeah.
you get it for $10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that's worth.
This is stupid.
You know what? You bring up DLC. Let's freaking bring back DLC. I am tired of these endless battle passes and skins and no, just give me like, hey, you know what? We have 15 new maps and or a whole new storyline or quest or something. Fine, you know what? I'll pay $15 for it. That's fine.
Content.
But exactly, I'll pay for content. I don't want to pay for skins and stuff like that. Now I do.
I mean, you still want because it's available, but like
right.
The nasty tactics, like you pay battle pass, you want to skip the first 10 levels, £10 extra.
Oh yeah, that's
what the fuck.
Yep,
that's so stupid, and people pay it.
No, it's disgusting, and it started. I don't know, when did it start. What really kicked off this whole train?
That's a good question.
Free games, but they're only semi-free because if you really want to play them, you have to pay money.
Was it not one of the MMOs?
Well, yeah, but those have always kind of been in their own little category, like World at War or.
It says Wolf. No. Wolf started battle passes.
Wolf.
I think it was like the Team Fortress or something like that. Because Team Fortress, you get like, you get unlocked 10 levels, you get the hat, you unlock that. So I think Wolf and Team Fortress made the first or one of their games. Oh, Dota 2. Dota had battle passes.
Did it? Ooh, maybe that kind of started off.
Because it says
I just feel like
10 years ago, Wolf was supposedly do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Overwatch. Overwatch 2.
Oh, well, Overwatch 2 is much newer, but Overwatch, yeah. I think it may have started with the craze of like Fortnite. I feel like Fortnite
earlier, much earlier.
Changed.
And even like Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike, I remember you used to get like in the beginning, you want to unlock this new gloves? Okay, do this mission and do this quest. It is, and you pay for it. But you don't get the item. You have to like do the quest. So it is a kind of a battle pass. Definitely. It was like Counter-Strike Go, I think.
So I asked ChatGPT. It says Dota 2 was the first one, and it was called the Compendium.
There we go.
It's garbage.
Yeah,
who popularized it was Fortnite. Fortnite is the one that popularized it.
Mainstream. Yeah.
Yep. I mean,
Because it was successful. I mean, I'm sure a lot of companies did it in the beginning, but Fortnite was like big boy.
well, that's when Call of Duty was like, oh shoot, we can release Warzone for free and then just charge people
Yeah.
to progress. And here's the thing: if it's a free game, I'm kind of fine with monetizing it in certain ways because, well, you're offering a full game for free.
True.
So I can't hate it too much. But what's bad is when it's seeped into paid games like Call of Duty. It's like, okay, I bought the game for $60.
The other
And
bad
now
part.
you want me to spend more money.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I want DLCs. DLC is not also not optimal because you can't have unlimited DLCs. They did that with Destiny 2, and it's shit. Because it keeps getting
yeah.
new DLC, new DLC, new DLC. Oh, you want new content? You have to buy DLC. It's not additional. It's your progression
right,
is
but
stopped.
the problem with Destiny 2 is it's very meta. So if it wasn't meta and you could just play Destiny 2 and go online and
you can.
use any gun
you
want,
just you cannot get like the new maps. You have to buy DLC
Right.
for the new maps.
but you also, when they release in Destiny 2, when they release new DLC, the new meta gun is always in the new DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to actually be competitive, well, now you need the DLC because otherwise you don't get the best gun.
Not always,
I'm
but
also not
it
a
is kind of true.
Not a fan of metas. Like, I've played plenty of like MMOs and stuff where there's a meta. Well, then all you ever see is everyone's running around with the same gear, the same sword, or the same gun because it's just the best one. And if you don't use that one, too bad.
Well, that's how they get your money. Like they don't do balance on purpose to make them
Well-
feel weaker, so they would pay money to get the freaking.
Yeah, the best thing.
I'm
No,
the
I
best.
agree. That's a problem. But yeah, metas, let's get rid of them. Also,
Yeah,
you know what a
Cortex
big
Cortex is saying about like Warframe, about the Warframe model where you can literally get everything in game spending time because you can like sell the drops on the market and make money and then buy whatever you need. So their auction house is very nice. I believe that's true, but the time it takes to unlock everything in Warframe is insane.
as long as Warframe doesn't have an option to just buy it. See,
Yes,
that's
they
where it's like.
they have option to buy it.
See, that's the problem. That's a problem with me because now you're gonna artificially make the time to get the resources take long and encourage you just to buy it.
Literally,
But
when
if
you
you had
craft when you craft a weapon, it says your weapon is gonna be crafted in 3 days, or you can pay currency to craft it now.
Yeah. See, that's a.
It's not perfect, but
yeah. Now, one thing that needs to just be yeeted out of this universe and never seen again is skill-based matchmaking.
what
It's hot garbage.
you mean like MMR?
Yeah, kind of like MMR.
No, it's not
matchmaking.
garbage. It's not garbage.
If
Because
I
if
play
I'm
Call of-
playing with somebody like world class, and I get shit on and have no chance, it's not fun for me. If I'm playing at my level, people, it's fun for me because it's challenging, but I also can win.
See, well, you're part of the problem. You know what? You are
No.
a problem. I'm just kidding. No, see, to me, let's take our favorite game ever, Call of Duty, right? Neither one of us like Call of Duty, but let's say I jump in Call of Duty and I'm gonna play a match. Okay, fine. You know what? I don't want skill-based matchmaking. I want to either be owned by someone that's just better, and then now I know I need to get better, or I want to pwn some noobs. That's fun. So,
Well, that's
So
your
you-
opinion because that's not fair
You're
for
gonna-
the noobs who are playing. Because if they're not
Well,
having fun, why then? Only you have to have fun. You know what I mean?
but they're gonna get better, and also they're also gonna end up having some matches that they're better, and so I feel like it's it's give and take. You're gonna get pwned sometimes, but then you get a pwn some other times, and that's
No.
fun. And I think you get better when you just play with the people in your same level bracket. you're never gonna get
I
better
think
at
there
the
should be a
game.
challenge, but that it has to be ranked. Like it has to be a ceiling for
Well,
people's rank
okay,
to play
there you
against.
go. Then have a ranked. If I want to play with skill-based matchmaking, I hit ranked. If I
No,
don't
no,
and I
no.
just want to have a fun
Ranked
game,
is
I
again
don't hit
different.
ranked.
The rank, no, what I mean by it is not ranked. What I mean is like you get your MMR and you play with people who are a step below you and a step above you, but not like whatever. It cannot be absolutely random. If you play, for example, League of Legends, and a person who played the game for 10 years, it will shit on you day and night, and you will never get better because they will own you.
Sure, maybe in a League of Legends.
No, but
I don't know.
it
I guess
depends on the game. Like Cortex says, depends on the game, and it's true. And I believe, like you say, some part of what you're saying is true because you will not improve if you play against weaker enemies. But it's also true if you only play against stronger and you never feel the dopamine of success, you will just stop playing the game. Because if it's not
I
fun
mean,
for
you
me,
might be
why
right
would I
to an
play
extent.
it?
I just think of like Battlefield, right? You can, well, back in the day, not so much now, but you were able to find a server and join it. And
Mhm.
I never had the issue, maybe that I was pretty good at Battlefield. Maybe that's why it was always fun because I could pwn noobs.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But that's the point.
But
There has to be noobs for you, you know. So somebody has to be weaker.
yeah, but when we do our
If you're equally matched, then it just becomes numbers. If you have 3 who are equally matched and the enemy has 2, they lose because they have 1 less person.
I don't know, when I played ranked and in tournaments with Battlefield, I mean we were not the best team, but
Mhm.
we could win, or we weren't the best players, but we could win by having better tactics. But Battlefield is a game that did lend itself more to that. Where, and same with like some of those like squads or Hell Let Loose. Those ones, it's like you don't have to be a great FPS player. You just have to work together as a team and you'll win every time. So to me, I like that. And if it was skill-based matchmaking, well, now all of us are the same level, and I suppose you'd still win if you work together as a team. But I don't know. I like that challenge to either brute force your way in, or hey, that's not working. We're gonna have to actually strategize here and win this game through strategy. I really like that. When you do skill-based matchmaking, it doesn't matter as much. You just run in there, get a kill or two, and then die, and then I don't know. I think it encourages the lone wolf aspect in shooters more than if you didn't have skill-based matchmaking. I think it encourages team play more. And I would rather play a game with team play.
Well, they should put like 2 matchmakings.
That's what I'm saying. You have one that has like a ranked or something can be your skill-based matchmaking where you're only put into matches with your
No,
skill
but then you
level.
also want to have a regular non-skill based and regular skill because a lot of
Right.
people looks at the ranked games as ranked games, so it's not to have fun. They want to climb, they want to get better, and some people wants to like I want to play shooter games for fun, but I want to play for fun against people like me.
I mean, I guess that's fair. To me, yeah, that's a fair take.
Because if I'm only losing, Alt F4, I'm out. I don't care.
You and I are just very
Refund.
different in that
Yeah,
aspect.
that's the point. Yeah.
When it comes to shooters, I never just play to have fun. And actually, I never play any game just to have fun. I play a game to win.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm like, I don't care who I'm playing against. I'm gonna try to win, and I'm gonna be as sweaty at it as I possibly can. But I guess that's me.
Mm.
Um,
I think we can go
The-
next. We can go. Unless you have something else to add.
No, I don't think I have anything else to add. It is getting close to 12, which is kind of my
I
cutoff
run.
time, but
No worries. Oh.
I have one last topic we can briefly touch on if you want.
Yeah, sure.
So, in my podcast, we were talking about this the other day,
Mhm.
and it's it's the handheld gaming sphere, right? So you got like the
Handheld.
Switch,
Yeah.
you got the Steam Deck, you got the Rogue Ally, you've got the Lenovo Go. Is it the no? That's a yeah, it's the Lenovo Go, Legion Go. Anyways, you got the Lenovo one. I think those are like the main ones. Well, I was curious on your thoughts on Xbox's new handheld and what you thought of that, and the Switch 2. Because to me, the Switch 2 is kind of like a kind of a letdown. We're charging $90 per games now, which is just a bad sign for gaming industry in general. And the upgrades in the Switch 2 don't seem worth it. And they're charging $1
Mhm.
billion. I think it's like $600 or something, $500, something like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
man, it's so expensive. Really, the only thing you're getting out of it is the new Mario game for $90. I'm really like, I don't see the market for this
I don't think
other
like
than
any handheld is very intriguing to me. I don't see any reason to have a handheld computer. First of all,
that's
it's not gonna run anything better than computer, and it's gonna be
right.
hot. It's gonna run hot because it's games not made for a handheld. It's gonna try to emulate games made for computer on a handheld, right? You're not gonna play mobile games on a handheld. You know what I mean?
I mean, I kind of
So
disagree with you a little bit because the handheld, at least with like the Steam Deck, right? It
yeah,
runs games. It's a Linux operating system, but it runs games pretty well. There's definitely you kind of want to stick with older games just because it doesn't run it great. I
well
haven't.
that's the
Well, I've
point.
had right. I had the Steam Deck. I ended up getting a Rogue Ally, and that one I can play Expedition 33 with 60 FPS.
Okay.
I can play Dune Awakening with 60 FPS. I've played Battlefield on it. That one runs a little rough, but to me, it's cool because I can go on a plane. You know, let's say I'm flying back to France or something.
hmm
Well, I can play Expedition 33 on the plane for 12
I
hours.
think
Well,
that's
that's great.
valid for people who travel only.
Yeah,
Because
if
for
you're sitting
me,
at home,
one day, like if I'm on a plane one day in a year, I'm just gonna have it on my phone. I'll watch a movie on my phone. I play games on my phone. I don't need a fucking 1,000 pounds handheld to.
well, they're not that heavy, but yeah, I think I don't know. There's a place for them. I don't think they would ever replace a primary gaming console or computer. Um, but the new Xbox, spec wise, should be able to play, I think, any game out currently very well. And
I hope so.
if they get the right dock for it, imagine this. I could see total groups of gamers buying it for $500, docking it, use your mouse and keyboard and a monitor. That's your computer. You play games on it, and then you go, "Oh, I'm going, to San Francisco in 2 days." Well, you just pick it up. You go to San Francisco. You play it on the flight. You fly home. Put it right back on the dock. Go right back to where you are. I think that's like a huge benefit. I think that's really cool.
I don't believe it's gonna run as well on monitor as it runs by itself, because it requires more resources to run the resolution.
Well,
And
the resolution on it is 1080. So unless you're wanting to run 4K or 2K, sure. But if you're just running a 1080 monitor, which
no,
is fine
what
for
I mean is
most
about like
people.
is that amount of pixels. Anyways, it's not going to
Well,
match
if it's
what's on
a
the small monitor, because like the handheld is its own stuff. It has a certain amount of. It's not the same. It's like, oh, this is 1080p, and then the monitor is not the same, because
yes, it
the
is.
the amount of pixels moved
Nine,
into the area.
no. 1920 by 1080. That's how many pixels there are.
I don't believe,
That's how
because
many
for
pixels high
example,
and wide.
again, I don't understand the technology behind it, so I might be wrong. But for example, when my friend was playing this regular Switch on hand and on the TV, it was two complete different games because it doesn't run as smooth. It does not. It's not capable to, you know.
Well, yeah. Well, the Switch isn't 1080p for one. It's 720 is its max resolution, and the Switch is also just an underpowered gaming console. But if, like with my Ally, it's 1080p. If I run a game and it runs at 60 FPS, if I plug it into a monitor, it will also run at 60 FPS, unless the monitor's like 4K.
Oh, but that also means you run double resources because you show on your small screen and push the data on the TV. So you use extra resources. It turns off the small.
Yep.
The small
when you
screen.
dock it. Yep. So, but
I think it's a good move. It's a good move for the future. It's the correct move, but it's far away from being anything mainstream.
I agree. I mean, I think it's kind of like VR, right? VR is fun and exciting, but not everyone's gonna do it. However, I do think there's a new group of gamers growing up right now that's all they're gonna do, because all they are is tablet babies, and they just sit on their tablets all day, play, Minecraft or Fortnite or something on their
that's
tablet.
another thing. Actually, one of my lists is that Xbox said themselves that their end goal is cloud gaming.
Yeah, which until everyone has crazy good internet, there's just always going to be too much latency. I don't think you'll ever get to a point where.
No, but it will be easier to get internet than to buy proper computer, because then, for example, once you get the internet and you have your phone or the handhelds, you can play anything because it requires zero resources. It just requires internet.
True, and you already have a phone.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a good move on Xbox's part because
they even said
into a market.
They said like we want to remove the need of running insane computers, by yourself, because that's like a big investment. So they want people to be able to access the game on anything and just play the maximum fucking graphics on whatever you have, 4K TV, be it whatever.
Right.
You just it's just literally like a movie. You're playing a movie.
I mean, it's not a bad move. I don't think I could ever, make that jump. Any game I played where I was trying to be competitive, I'd always have that in the back of my mind. Wow, I'm just dying because my, the latency is just not as good.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I don't care about that at all. So for me,
for
me it doesn't matter.
So you're thinking that you'd take that step, you'd move that direction.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. The cloud gaming 100%, because for example, for streaming, it takes so much resources to stream. It's crazy. So if I could just use my computer just for streaming, and everything, like it would be like a cloud server computer on their base that would run the game, so I don't need to worry about the resources, it would be amazing for me.
So why don't you do that? I mean, we've already got cloud gaming.
It's not as good, and you can't play all the games.
Yeah.
That you need, and then it's.
Well, I mean, that brings up another concern: is, well, if I buy a game, I want to play that game. What if the service that you're streaming from says, well, we don't support that game anymore. We're going to support this new game. It's like, well, they could do that at any point.
Have you seen that the next Xbox consoles are gonna be compatible with Steam and Epic Games?
Yeah.
That's a good move.
That's gonna be great. I think that's a great move.
That's a very good move.
Because you're gonna get gamers that go, oh man, I want to play these other games, or I want to do this. I don't want to commit to a console because I can't play my Steam games or the games my buddies are playing. I don't want to commit to Sony because they don't have some of the games. It's going to be like, well, shoot, I get a console for, $500-600, and I can play all the games all my friends are playing. Yeah, it's a fantastic move.
It's a very good move. And they said they're going to run Windows too.
Yeah, well, the handheld is gonna be on Windows, running Windows, which there's maybe some concerns with that too, but I think overall that's great. Discord, any of the apps that you normally use or want to use are going to be so easy just to I'll download Discord and have proper channels and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
I can download TeamSpeak, which I don't think anyone uses anymore, but um yeah, I think it's the right move. Nintendo, the only reason why they're still alive is because people are ignorant. If people weren't
That's
so
true.
ignorant, they would just emulate. I
And it's
mean, I
also,
can
for example, think about like, oh, I need to play the game, right? Look at nowadays games, 120 gigabytes for a game. If you have shitty internet, you cannot download it. But you can download it on your cloud game server and just play directly as it's downloading or whatever. It can be downloaded in a second or whatever, if they have like insane fucking 5 petabyte internet or whatever. And then you're just like,
right.
okay, I want to play this game. Whoop, I have it. I'm playing it. And you don't
Well, and
you
if
don't
it's
need the huge space on your device. You don't need to wait for the download that long because it's on somewhere else. And you can play on your phone and you can have multiple games of 100 gigabyte size on the cloud computer, but so it's not gonna be heavy on your device.
yeah, I mean that's a benefit for sure. And most of those games are probably already downloaded onto the servers, so you just have to either like buy access to it and then be like, "Oh, I can play now instantly."
No.
I mean
The
that
thing
is nice.
what I don't like is that if something happens, you have no say. Like, oh, our servers are down right now. You cannot fix it. You cannot
Right.
change. You cannot like, oh,
And you
I'm
can't
gonna
even play your single
patch
player
it.
games.
Yeah. So it's also like realistically there is some potential issues. Let's say if they say, oh, by the way, we are increasing the price from £10 to 20 starting next month. Sorry about that, but we need it for the internet. And you say, oh, fuck, £20 is too much.
Yeah,
I don't
what are
want
you
to pay
gonna do?
£10. But then you have no choice. You don't have your computer. You cannot boycott and say, no, I'm going to play on something else, It's kind of like...
So what's the solution to that? I mean, is it like you buy a 2-year subscription at a locked in price for this much?
You get a Elon Musk implant and just play in your mind.
Now, see, that would be great. Like full, like a deep dive where you just plug
At that
in.
point, man, you just fucking stop being human. I would say goodbye to my family, put my body on fucking freezing, and just go inside
And just
and
go deep
disappear.
and be like,
Yeah,
yeah, but some games would be wildly, wildly wild. I mean, think of Elden Ring. That would turn into
yeah,
a horror game, or
yeah.
like a proper horror game would just be
But
like,
they would turn off my conscience, and I would have no memories. I would think it's reality.
I know. How scary would that be?
You wouldn't know. You would just be like, "Oh, this is my life now."
No, I know, but that would still be. Let's say you wanted to play Phasmophobia,
Oh
and
yeah.
so you go in and go under, and you're like, "This is my life." Oh my word!
Imagine it's okay.
How
Wake me up in 1 year.
freaky. I don't want to spend a year down there. I'd be like,
That'd be amazing.
wake me up in like 10 minutes. I'm gonna test this out because
Mm.
I don't think I'm gonna like it. I'd go in. I'd be like, no, get me out of here. 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 Well, if you don't have any memories though, it'd be like, oh, yeah. I think definitely some games would be kind of off limits. I think.
Well, that's the thing. Like you would think it's your life, it's the reality, and you would play it as if your life depends on it, right?
Oh, we know you, Holic. You'd turn on a game, orc massage, and then you'd just go under and you'd never come out.
Yes. 1000%.
That's your kind of game right there. No. Yeah, can you imagine playing like Expedition 33?
Subnautica.
That would be Subnautica, that would be sick. Or Star Citizen if they actually ever release the game. But that would be so cool. No, they won't. They'll never release that game. It's in our podcast we talked about it actually, and it is
Sure.
it's no good. No good at all. But
they got the money,
game,
they had enough.
and they just keep not releasing it. Yeah. But yeah, something like that would just be so cool to be like, or even Dune Awakening, you'd just be in the desert, it'd be hot,
Right.
giant worm is chasing you. Yeah, no, that would be an experience. It's like you get a taste of it with VR, but it's not quite there.
Yeah, it's still weird. It's still like it looks like you're watching at your monitor from very close. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's definitely more immersive for me. Like Half-Life Alyx was like really good, and I just like was playing that game. All of a sudden, like 6 hours went by, and I could hardly stand because I was so tired. But that game was very immersive, and that one was probably the closest I've ever been to feeling like you're actually the character in that world.
Right.
It was very cool. I don't know if you've had a chance to play it.
No,
Definitely
not yet.
worth a play.
I'm thinking, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to invest in the VR just yet.
Well, now with the Meta VR, it's not that expensive.
Is it
And
any
it's
good?
pretty solid. Yeah, that's the one I would recommend. I think a lot of the other ones have their like, oh, it looks visually better or it does this better. It tracks a little bit better. But there's too many downsides to that little bit better. Whereas the Meta one is like, well, you can do wireless, which is a huge plus.
Mm-hmm.
You can have games natively on it, which is also a huge plus. And it looks so good. Maybe not quite as good as some of the other options, but it looks really good. It tracks perfectly fine. And I think it's just that happy medium of like convenience and still really gets you a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
Versus some of the other ones, it's like, oh, it's a better experience, but the convenience is not there at all. So,
Right.
it's the one I'd recommend.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's about all the time I have today.
Brother.
But we do need
Let's
to jump
give you-
on and play a game at some point soon.
100%. Let's give a shout out for Pixels, if I can. Bowen, please. Pixels is an amazing streamer. You didn't tell me that you have a podcast, so I'll have to see what's up in that.
You know, I have told you before, but you know that's fine.
I
that's
don't
fine.
remember. I don't. There's too much things
Um,
happening. But yeah, thank you for being here, man. It was really fun.
Yeah,
I like
it was
this
a lot
kind
of
of
fun.
thing. This one is like a nice project hobby for me because it's very interesting, and you know, people just bring their own things they're passionate about. So you always have something to talk about because one of you is really passionate about what you know, because you bring your own topics. So that's for me, it's very interesting, and you can never like.
Right.
I don't like when you prepare for it, kind of. So that's like the fact. That's why I told you not to tell
Yeah,
me
you're kind
anything.
of going in a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, and you get to know people a little bit better too. I think.
It's like open, you know, like you kind of have to say what you think, pretty much.
Maybe next time I'll get a little bit more edgy and we can talk about politics or something.
That's what I'm missing. More drama.
Yeah, I mean, it might get canceled if that's the case, but you know.
Anyways, thank you very much, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you mind if I drop a link to my podcast in the
Of
chat?
course, please. Of course, please. Do everything. All the ads. Please follow Pixels. Have a look at his podcast. Follow his YouTube. Have a look at his Discord.
Yep. I haven't been streaming much lately, just with work and things. But yeah, we definitely get on. If you get Dune Awakening, let me know because
I will think about it because it is kind of you know, it's on my radar. I've been thinking about it, so we'll see.
Yeah,
We will
no,
see.
it's a lot of fun. Well, anyways, until next time, I will talk to you later. Hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, it's been fun.
You too, buddy. Have a good
Alright.
evening, yeah?
Yep, you too.
Bye-bye. Anyways, guys, this was the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed it. It's very fun for me to do these things. We have another New guest next Sunday. It's the person, like another streamer I found on the internet. So I don't know much about them. So it's gonna be very kind of, you know, real, because I don't know what a person is about. So it's the first guest that we're kind of not friends with, you know. So that's gonna be interesting. And yeah, nothing else to say. He didn't post the link. Oh well. He forgot maybe. Or maybe he's gonna post it on Discord, so that's fine. Anyways, this is it. Hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna have another one next Sunday. And yeah, have a lovely rest of your day. Any suggestions, please drop on Discord or send me a message. And that's it. Holic out. Have a good night. Bye.